Right now on News 8, police block off a Rock Island neighborhood. What neighbors say about the emergency call and why police aren't letting anyone near.
And courtroom admission. What former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert told a judge about sexual abuse allegations and why the judge says that Hastert is lucky that he isn't any younger.
Live from WQAD, News 8 at 5 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Denise Hanitka.
And I'm Jim Mertens. Thanks for joining us right now. We are following breaking news happening in Rock Island. Police tell News 8 they are investigating a shooting. Investigators have blocked off an area near the intersection of 20th Avenue and 5th Street. That's on the west side of the city near the Centennial Expressway. News 8's Christina Hepner is live in Rock Island. And what do we know right now, Christina?
Jim, the Rock Island Police Department are investigating what they say is a shots fired call at this home on 20th Avenue near 5th Street. Neighbors tell me they heard shots and saw police cars at the scene. Catherine Overstreet says she knows almost everyone on the block, but didn't know the people that lived here. She says she's never seen anything like this before.
It's scary. It's weird. I've lived here for 33 years and nothing like this has happened here in this block. I know everybody.
Police are still investigating here and will continue to keep you updated here and on our website, WQAD.com. Reporting live in Rock Island, Christina Hepner, WQAD News 8.
Neighbors say there are a lot of children who live in the area of 20th Avenue. It makes them nervous that shots are fired in that region. For the second time this week, Davenport police are investigating a robbery. This time it happened at the U.S. Bank on North Division Street just shortly before 3:30. Police say a man came into the bank demanding money, then fled with an undisclosed amount. Officers combed the area. No arrests have yet been made. On Monday, a man robbed the Northwest Bank and Trust on West Locust Street. Police are still investigating that robbery as well.
We are also following the developing story out of Chicago as former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert is sentenced to just over a year in prison. A judge sentencing Hastert to 15 months. He's also ordered to pay $250,000 in restitution after admitting to paying hush money to victims to cover up sexual abuse. In court today, Hastert admitted he abused at least one boy. An investigation revealed that Hastert was sexually abusing young boys while working as a teacher and a wrestling coach.
A victim of Mr. Hastert's stood up and was heard after decades of unfathomable silence. He stood up and spoke the truth of what Mr. Hastert did to him as a boy, how Coach abused him, violated his trust, and in doing so, permanently scarred him.
The judge also said Hastert should participate in a sex offender treatment program. Although the judge sentenced Hastert to prison, there is no word right now where he will serve that time or when he begins his sentence. Adrian Bankert has continuing coverage.
Said to be in poor health, former House Speaker Dennis Hastert arrived to court today in a wheelchair. As part of a plea deal, the 74-year-old pled guilty to bank fraud after the FBI says he was making payments to a former member of the high school wrestling team he coached more than 30 years ago. Alleged hush money to cover up his sexual abuse of students. Today, one of Hastert's accusers, Scott Cross, fought to keep his composure on the stand. He told me he could help me lose weight by giving me a massage, Cross recounted. As a 17-year-old boy, I was devastated.
I wish Mr. Hastert had been called on the carpet in 1968, and we'd all be better for it.
Hastert read a prepared statement saying he, quote, mistreated some of the athletes he coached and that he was deeply ashamed. When asked directly by the judge as to whether he sexually abused one specific wrestler, Hastert replied, yes. Jolene Burge, the sister of another victim, also testified, confronting Hastert face-to-face, saying, what you did wasn't misconduct, it was sexual abuse of a minor.
Mr. Hastert hurt his victims many decades ago, but today they struck back.
The judge described Hastert as a serial child molester, though acknowledged he could not sentence him on molestation charges.
In addition to prison time, Hastert will be required to pay a fine of $250,000 and attend classes for sex offenders. Adrian Bankert, ABC News, New York.
The judge also told Hastert that because of his age and overall health, he was only sentencing him to 15 months, and he said it would have been more had Hastert been younger.
Your Voice, Your Vote coverage starts tonight with a big move in the Republican race for president. Senator Ted Cruz picking former candidate Carly Fiorina as his vice presidential running mate today, 81 days before the Republican Party convention. Senator Cruz made the announcement at a rally in Indiana, which votes Tuesday in the next Republican primary. The Cruz campaign may see her California roots as an asset ahead of California's state primary. That's coming up June 7th. Fiorina has been a regular and popular presence on the Cruz campaign trail in recent weeks since she endorsed the Texas senator in early March.
Ted Cruz could not be more right in what he said. There is a lot at stake, and in fact, this is a fight. This is a fight for the soul of our party and the future of our nation.
Typically, candidates do not pick their running mate until their party's convention begins. The Cruz campaign hopes to win the nomination at a contested convention. Really cool temperatures. Kind of windy a little bit because there was a breeze there and cloudy skies. That was kind of the theme for today.
And now we are watching the possibility of thunderstorms. James Zahara has it all on the radar tonight. Hi, James.
Hey, guys. Yeah, cloudy, cool out there. A little wet, too. We had about a 1/10 of an inch of rain. The wave that came in earlier on has now made its way off to the north and east, as you can see on our storm tracker. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on some activity located just off to our south and west, and there it is. You can see where the red box is actually indicating a tornado watch until about 9 o'clock this evening. Not worried about the activity from Kansas City northward to just south of Des Moines. I'm concerned about the area of activity east of it that may develop into a broken line of showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms. So that's the wave that we're anticipating as we head later on tonight. Currently, we're seeing numbers awfully cool still. Upper 40s north of the Quad Cities, lower 50s to our south. In the Quad Cities, 51. After a daytime high of 53 degrees, a steady breeze out of the east at 23 has been gusting a little bit higher than that, definitely putting a chill in the air. And that chill will continue on for another day, and so will the chance of wet weather as well. We'll tell you where those chances will be taking place coming up in just a few minutes. Jim?
All right, thank you, James. Well, cleanup crews continue to clear away the damage left by severe weather in Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri.
Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Houston reporter and photographer caught a tree falling after storms rolled through the city. This morning, thousands of homes and businesses were without power. 5 people were hurt. Survivors of a tornado outbreak that killed more than 300 people in the South are still recovering now 5 years later. It was April 27, 2011 that the National Weather Service confirmed 62 tornadoes touched down in Alabama. That storm system caused some $4.2 billion in damages.
Well, a driver who killed 3 people was drunk, high, and speeding at the time of the crash. This all happened March 26th. Des Moines police officers Susan Farrell and Carlos Puente Morales were transporting a prisoner. Their cruiser collided head-on with a car driven by Benjamin Beery, who was going the wrong way on Interstate 80. The final report says Beery had a blood alcohol content nearly 3 times the legal limit, had been smoking marijuana, and was speeding at more than 100 miles an hour. The investigation also revealed police car was traveling at 79 miles per hour when the posted speed limit was 70. Galesburg taking steps to reduce lead levels from aging water service lines and other sources. The city planning to follow some federal EPA recommendations for testing and filtering. News 8's John David shows why the measures should help cut lead levels in some homes.
Galesburg lead levels spark emotional responses.
I mean, come on, we're poisoning people. Lead is an issue.
Inside Q's Cafe on Wednesday, customers worry about water from lead service lines topping federal action levels.
My mother made a telephone call to the city this morning, and testing kits aren't available at this time.
That's changing in coming days. After EPA recommendations, the city will provide free water testing for customers with a lead service line. It will also supply filters if testing tops the action level.
You know, if it helps people have a comfort level and helps them address the situation in the short term, we think it'll be beneficial.
While testing and filters provide stopgap measures, the real culprit comes from deteriorating homes. That's how the city would like to focus its spending.
Water is one component in a problem that includes the environment and aging homes.
Lead paint is a big part of it. The soils, to some of the toys, to even mini blinds people don't think about in their home. And so some of the things that we want people to think about.
Galesburg's response will cost the city about $90,000. That includes a corrosion study of the water system.
We'd like to get to the bottom of this issue, but we know what causes it, and that our resources, our limited resources, should be focused on that.
While there are worries about long-term unfunded mandates, there's also a call to action.
So let's fix it. I mean, for crying out loud, we can get together on this.
Making a prompt response to a decades-old problem. In Galesburg, John David, WQAD News 8.
Galesburg city administrators say they hope to have testing and filters available in about a week. It will release information about distribution in the coming days.
An Illinois highway now officially honors a local soldier killed on duty in Afghanistan. Army Corporal B.J. Luxmore was from New Windsor, Illinois. He was killed in Afghanistan in 2012. Even on a rainy day, people honored him today with a ceremony that officially named a stretch of Highway 17 the Corporal Bryant J. Luxmore Memorial Highway. Family members say this stretch of road means something to the family.
It's a section of highway where he grew up on, where we still live. He was laid to rest in the cemetery just off that same stretch of highway, and he was certainly proud to call this whole area home.
The Memorial Road starts at the Henry-Mercer County line in New Windsor and stretches to Viola.
Still ahead, saving money one word at a time.
The new financial advice and how it could take only 30 seconds to fix all of your money problems.
And a few more showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two expected later tonight, and then we'll have to dodge some more wet weather. We'll tell you when that will be arriving, coming up right after the break here on News 8 at 5.
You are watching WQAD News 8 at 5 with Jim Mertens and Denise Hanitka.